Hello, US 101 history class. Welcome to week two. Um, I try to make these announcement videos every Sunday right after I open up the class, but sometimes, especially if I'm busy, I'll do it the next day, also knowing that many of you are going to be busy trying to get your Sunday papers in. So um, let's just talk a little bit about where things are looking this week. I obviously have not been able to grade all of your papers that you just turned in yesterday. Overall, things look great. Um, I would say the majority of you have been looking at my syllabus, you're checking out my announcements, you're seeing the examples, and what I'm getting is quality work, what I'm asking for you to do. I did take a look at some of the work that I was not able to grade yet, and I did see a few without citations. I'll be recommending you to maybe go to a writing center or talk to another teacher, your teacher, whoever is closest and most available to help you out. If you are struggling with putting dates and citations there. But the majority of you are doing that. Some of you put a citation and you didn't put a page number for a book. That's important. There's little things like that, but this week I'm going to grade relatively easy, and as long as you were doing most of everything that I was asking you to do, you should be fine, and I will make a note to you if you need to just kind of improve a little bit for next time. One of the things that I want to mention is that the papers that we turn in on Sunday, if you were at a university, and I'm talking about you transfer from MJC to any of the California State Universities or to a UC, but especially a UC or let's say Stanford, there would be a much higher set of expectations on what to produce in the papers, and you would need to use Chicago style, like I mentioned, I think, in my syllabus. And so I just want you to keep that in mind, but I want you to know, so this is how I've been teaching this course at MJC. The Sunday papers are just me trying to get you to really put some thought into what you went over for the week and then put it into a paper form and make sure that you cite it. And so, this is something different than if you're doing a research paper. In other words, or writing a more hardline academic paper. Some of you did notice maybe in the comments that some of you are writing very informally, and I'm encouraging you to try to write as academic as possible. But again, if you did everything that I asked you to do, you're going to get a good score for it. The conversations in terms of the discussions, I'm going to be looking to make sure that you all are really putting some thought. Now, you will notice coming up for the next set of discussions, I have more of the readings for you to look at. So that means not just the Howard Zen book, but I have links. These are articles. You don't need to buy anything, but you're going to see an article with links to different subject matter. And one of the things that I will be trying to do each week, and I forgot to mention this in my other announcement, is I put world history to put U.S. history into context. So I talk about Korean slavery. So we're going to be talking a lot in this section, unfortunately, because our own history made a big deal about slavery. Can't avoid it. It's not being ideological to talk about this. You're actually being much more ideological to not talk about it because it means you're avoiding an elephant in the room. We're going to see that the Constitution had to be created by compromises and the amendments to satisfy slave owners. And we're going to see the slave states make some very passionate arguments as we lead up to the Civil War, which we're going to be going over in a book. So yeah, you can't avoid this as this topic. But one of the things that gets lost in these discussions is what slavery meant on a global scale. We are not the only countries that did slavery. And there are many countries now that most likely are doing a form of slavery. For the most part, global slavery has ended in the way that it was done before. But there's something very different about our form. Now, I will go over all that we had in this country. I will go over all that more in details. But I want you to kind of just be able to understand that. And then I'm talking a lot about Puritans, and I talk about the Bible, and I'm putting some verses in the link that may be a little bit confusing. I mainly want to point out that when we talk about the role of religion in this the creation of this country, and we talk about settler colonialism, we talk about conquest of land, how much this all came together and still does to some degree incorporate itself into the imagination of some groups in this country. But I'm trying to show you in a different light there to really make you think about what it means to incorporate all this in there, to have this mindset that God chooses a certain people to take land, and what is required, the treatment of the people in that land, and how this is incorporated also into the project that creates the United States and its relationship to the people that lived here before colonization. And also on top of that, in the lectures, you'll see that I just kind of delve into less controversial but interesting topics, such as what did, let's say, Puritans do for entertainment. So I think that you'll find this very interesting, and some things controversial, but provocative in the sense of that you should be thinking about current politics, current arguments, and always compare to our history and see what people are saying now and see how it adds up to where we've been and where we're at now. And that, I think, is kind of an interesting project to do for this entire class. Okay, so in any case, I hope you had a good 3-day weekend. I may be subbing somewhat this week, and I'm going to try to grade from home. So please contact me, write me, and as soon as I can, I'll get back to you with any questions. Keep up the good work. For those of you, though, I got to say, last thing. There's several of you that turned in no papers on Sunday. That's a slippery slope. This success in this class is not going to be the exams or the final. It's going to be keeping up each week. So if you're struggling, talk to me, talk to your teachers, counselors, whoever. Help keep you motivated to keep going, because I don't want you to start falling behind. Okay? So that's all I have to say about that. All right, everyone, have a great evening, and we'll be in touch.